T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentions that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company.
Keep calm. We're online now. Thousands of local content for your viewing pleasure. Live. Boom. IKTV. Tune in. Get interactive. Get involved with WhatsApp or Instagram. Interact live. Party from home. Subscribe, follow, send us your voice notes. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, or call us live in studio. Be where the world is going. Stay home and connect online. Boom 1069, IKTV. Join the evolution. It's all about you. Connect now.
This is your boy Daniel Loveless representing for IKTV channel 112. Be sure to check it out. If you didn't know about IKTV, well, now you know.
Good night, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Let's Get Down to Business. Tonight, we'll be talking about the business of charity. Tis the season of giving, and I thought we would bring some of those who give all year round to the program. Tonight, we have with us representatives from the Leo Club St. Vincent, and we also have the Rotary Club in the building. We were supposed to be joined by the president of the Rotaract Club, but he is a medical doctor, and so we are still waiting for him, but hopefully he'll be able to join us soon enough. All right, so I'm just gonna get right into it. We'll start with Leo Atika. If you could just introduce yourself and tell us about your club.
Hi, good night, everybody. And let me first say thank you, Maurice, for having me. My name is Atika Franklin, and I am the president of the Leo Club St. Vincent. Our club is a youth-based club that gives our time and also our service to various communities. It is mainly youth-based between the ages of 18 to 30.
All right, thank you, Atika. And Danielle?
Hello, good night, everyone. Thank you for the invitation, Maurice. My name is Daniel Campbell. I am the president-elect of the Rotary Club of St. Vincent. There are two Rotary clubs in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, my Rotary Club as well as the Rotary Club of St. Vincent South. We're part of a wider organization, Rotary International, which represents about 1.4 million members worldwide and 46,000 clubs. And we're all about promoting peace, community building, environmental sustainability, as well as charity, fighting diseases, and basically fostering what we'd call fellowship between like-minded persons and also promoting diversity. Our club is about 35 members strong in St. Vincent.
All
And the
right.
Grenadines, sorry, because we have a satellite club in Beckwith.
Nice. That's really good to know because sometimes we tend to leave out the people in the Grenadines. And your club has a relationship with the Rotaract Club?
Yes, definitely. The Rotaract Club is basically, while they are now recently an independent organization, the Rotaract Club of Kingstown was chartered by the Rotary Club of St. Vincent. The Rotary Club of St. Vincent turned 20, turned 50 years old this year, right? So the Rotaract Club, we work together as one Rotary family, with the most recent example being our teamwork, as all three clubs, both Rotary clubs and Rotaract, joined together for the response to the Soufriere volcanic eruption. We all had one disaster management and response team, and we've been working together hand in hand to provide immediate support as well as now long-term recovery for victims of, well, I should say, persons who were
Affected.
affected, impacted by
Mhm.
the last eruption this year.
Right. That sounds really good. What about you, Atika? Does your club have any relationships? Because sometimes people get confused. They're like, "Oh, are you a Leo? Are you a Lion?" Um, yeah. Does your club have any specific relationships with other clubs on the island?
Our club does not necessarily have any specific relationships per se. However, as it relates to the Lions Club, Kingston SVG, they are our parent club. So from time to time, we would partner with them during some of their activities, and we would also invite them to partner with us whenever we are undertaking certain projects and certain activities.
All right. Um, Now, in terms of the clubs and distinguishing between the clubs and yourselves, just tell us. That's not your day job, is it, Daniel?
Well, no, it's not. I am a civil engineer by profession. I design and construct and supervise various infrastructure projects, roads, bridges, buildings. I am a project management professional as well and a sustainability specialist. So I work as a World Bank consultant as well as an independent consultant in St. Vincent and regionally.
Okay, and you, Atika?
It is also not my job as well. I am a teacher by profession, and I am also an undergrad student with the UWI Open Campus.
Right.
Nice.
The reason I asked that question is because, I'm also involved in charity. And sometimes people, they might say, "Oh, you're not a lawyer anymore. What are you doing? You're just doing all of these philanthropic works." And like, well, the money has to come from somewhere and I have to live as well. So I just wanted to make that clear. This is not a job. This is a volunteer endeavor and you guys are giving of your time. Um Quickly before we go on the break, can you tell us the type of projects that your club usually does? Atika, we'll start with you.
Sure. So the Leo Club St. Vincent, we normally do homeless feeding. So we would normally meet at the den for about 4 a.m. Members are generally encouraged to prepare certain meals at home. So, for example, we would do scrambled eggs, sauteed sausages. So, those things would be prepared at home, at individual members' home. And when we come to the den, we would package those items. And we try to be on the road for about 4:30. We also do beach cleanups. We also donate to needy individuals and also families. We mentor at-risk children. Those are some of the activities and projects that we undertake.
Okay. And would you say that you have a signature project?
Most definitely. One of our signature projects is actually the homeless feeding. We try to do it every other month, and that is considered one of our signature projects.
Okay, thank you. And before we go on our break, Daniel, what projects does your club take on?
Right, thank you, Maurice. Well, our club takes on a range of projects. So we have several committees that do different projects. We do service based. When I say service based, what we would call community service projects. So we would do projects such as partnering with the local orphanages, for example, the Salvation Army orphanage, to visit them to read to the children, for example, or to have fun days. We would do projects such as Village Doctor, where professional doctors from different, dentists, eye specialists, and so on, volunteer their time, particularly focused on rural areas, to basically give free healthcare to persons in remote places of the country. We also do projects such as the Wheelchair Donation Project, where we donate about around 200 to 250 wheelchairs every year to persons in need through a what you call objective application process. We also do projects such as what we call the George Phillips Award. That's named after our founder in St. Vincent, George Phillips, which is recognizing fourth form students that have been excelling not just academically but all around, and that embody the spirit of Rotary. And so we usually have that program as an annual program that has just been a bit hampered by COVID in recent times. And getting right back to the Christmas, we're currently doing a project that had its last leg tonight, which is donating to the 23 children that are still in shelters right now. There are over 90% still in shelters from the volcano. So we visited a number of shelters, well, all the open shelters throughout St. Vincent to basically give them a Christmas gift, treat them to a little Santa, our very own, Rotary Santa, and some singing and caroling and so on, and Christmas ham and different things. So it was just an all-around good experience. And that's the type of projects we engage in, as well as fundraising projects such as, the Christmas barbecue or the Rise and Shine breakfast, which helps us continue to be economically viable.
Okay, and with that, we will take a break for some ads.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentions that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company.
Welcome back to Let's Get Down to Business, everyone. And with us tonight, we have the Leo Club St. Vincent and the Rotary Club. Well, one of the Rotary Clubs. Before the break, Daniel, you were explaining about being financially viable. And I think that is kind of a tricky area, especially when you're operating in the nonprofit space. So, can you just explain how do you maintain your finances? Because obviously, as you guys previously explained, you both work, and I can't imagine that you would, as club members, be able to wholly and solely sustain the finances of your club. So how does that work? Do
All
you,
right.
go ahead.
Okay. Yes. So, well, we are very fortunate to have some very generous both members, donors, and we've built up a trust and relationship with the community and different corporate members of society. It's not an easy task by any means. We have a treasurer, and that treasurer has the responsibility to keep accurate and transparent records. What we do is that we have I should say, practice that every project should be economically viable by itself. So, in other words, projects don't get approved unless they could fund themselves, right? So, it's not like you're going to have one project that is making some sort of bringing in some income, and now this is going to, help to fund a totally project that is going to be a financial tragedy. Right? I mean, tragedy in a sense that you do a project, but it's not sustainable, right? So, in other words, and we have another principle that once we raise funds from the public, even if it's 1 cent, clubs raised from money raised from the public cannot be used for club administration expenses. So we are totally responsible for raising our own club administration expenses internally so that no administration activity drains the finances that the club has to execute service projects. So projects are financed by fundraising activities as well as donors. We have our fundraising barbecue, for example. We sold over 450 tickets. Rise and shine breakfast. We would generally sell over 400 tickets once we have an event. That's just because of the good support of Vincentians who are generous and caring. And what another strategy we also employ is that we have the support of the district. So for some major projects or larger projects, we could apply to the district. The Rotary is divided into districts. So District 7030 has a number of clubs, and you could apply for a district grant. And you have to meet several criteria to be able to access this district grant, but maybe it's a certain amount of money that you would have to be able to donate. The volcano was a one-off event, for example, whereby we had donations pouring in from all over the world. There's I remember somebody in England calling me personally and telling me he remembered visiting St. Vincent once in his life through some youth exchange program that Rotary used to have. And when he saw the volcano on TV on BBC, he had to reach out somehow and see how he can help St. Vincent, even if it's with £200 or much ever. So that is sort of the way we're able to stay economically viable.
Thank you, Daniel. And Tika, could you take us through?
Similar to what Daniel was just sharing, similarly to our club, the Leo Club St. Vincent, we would normally conduct fundraising activities, and those activities would take care of our service projects. So, for example, during the month of October, we had our Creole food sale, and given the current state, the pandemic, what we did, we would have had the fundraiser in the form of orders. So persons would request or order what they would like to have. And in doing that, we're able to minimize on our resources. Another way in which we are able to fund our activities, we would have cupcake sales as well. That too would be done by orders. Currently, we are trying to have a Christmas fundraiser that would assist us further, and some persons would donate, so we would have donations locally. Just recently, the St. Vincent Building and Loan Association would have donated to some funds to us to assist with one of our signature projects. Um, and all of those things assist us because, like you rightfully said, Maurice, it is not possible for the members in the club to be able to handle all the finances as it relates to our service projects and activities.
Now, you are mentioning the pandemic. In terms of the support that you've received from the business community, would you say that it's been affected by the pandemic, or would you say it's still relatively stable?
To some extent, it is still relatively stable. Persons are very appreciative of our efforts as young men and women, and they still try to assist the cause that we are trying to do as a club. So I would say that it is still viable. Yes.
On your end, Daniel?
I would say that COVID-19 has affected us significantly, especially at the start of the pandemic. Just because we are a club that is so focused on fellowship and being able to fellowship, when I mean fellowship, I just mean being able to meet together and share ideas. And we meet every Thursday, for example, at 12:30 p.m. That's midday. So we have lunch meetings every week without failure. Now we've shifted it up a bit because of COVID, and just to adapt to how things are. You could imagine there was a time we didn't have meetings for months, several months, several quarters without meetings, and the fundraising that hit our fundraising hard because we have some little internal systems we use for club administration, like we have fines every meeting. Sometimes what you call the sergeant at arms makes a funny joke or something and fines you if you have a wrong answer. Or we also have internal raffles where we make somebody donates a bottle of wine, so you raffle a bottle of wine, or someone donates some other treat, and you'll be able to do internal raffles and those things. And that became near impossible for some time. And then there are some projects that some fundraising activities, such as the barbecues and the different events that we would be accustomed to having, we simply could not have them in their regular format. We were close to even not having the barbecue this year just because of it had to be a pickup format, and which brought its own challenges versus being a dinner, right? So these are some of the things we have had to contend with. But I think St. Vincent General has dealt with the pandemic in a reasonable enough way to allow us to still be able to operate and still be economically viable with the support of all the persons. And I think all service clubs really came out and had a strong showing in terms of responding to the COVID-19 pandemic. So it's a sense where when you know you're not in it alone, it kind of helped us to keep on going. And when you keep on going, you're able to still generate funds and activity to keep the club alive.
Okay. And outside of the pandemic, especially for you, Atika, you're in a club with a lot of other younger people. I mean, obviously, you wouldn't be as financially stable as the members in Daniel's club, which I think are mostly professional people. So, what would you say are your other impediments? You know, what hinders you from being the best?
That's a very good question, Maurice. In terms of impediments, um, you're referring to us um, doing fundraising activities.
Fundraising, even to do projects, because I know, okay, you're mostly young people. You might have time, but you might not have sufficient resources to execute. You may encounter other difficulties, insufficient finances. Do you have
Um,
other difficulties that you would encounter? For example, I know it's also a difficulty in terms of recruitment because, I think we are in a time where persons would much rather focus on themselves, especially, now with the pandemic, we have had to withdraw so much into ourselves that we would probably find it very difficult to find anything left to give to someone else or to give to a cause.
I would say that one of the challenges that we have been facing as a club thus far is time. Like you said, most of the members are professionals, and therefore, when we have certain projects and when we have certain activities, it is a challenge most times for them to be present given their work schedule. That's one of the challenges I would say. Another thing would be some resources. Oftentimes, when we are trying to conduct certain projects or activities, we may have to utilize what we have. And if we don't, then we would have to try to inquire further from our parent club, try to source
Utilize
certain
what you
items.
have. Sometimes you utilize your mother's. I remember my mother always used to label her pots. Don't come back without my pot. Oh, yeah. So you are forced to lean on others and lean especially on your parent club. What
Yes.
about you, Daniel?
Challenges, right? I think one of the major challenges with any organization is time. Um, Increasingly, as the makeup and membership of our club is getting progressively younger and broader, it is a bit more difficult for up and coming professionals or persons who don't necessarily own their own business or have as much, they're not in senior management, they don't have as much leeway to, for example, have lunch meetings every week, right? Because depending on where you're working in St. Vincent, 12:30 to 1:30 meeting every week means you have to add in your transit time and your getting around traffic and so on. It might mean 2 hours or more out of your Thursday, and that can mean a lot for a young entrepreneur, young person, and even for the older persons. They have to juggle so many different responsibilities. So the time is, I think, the most critical factor. Being able to dedicate that time, and also not just time, sorry, but competition of resources, priorities. So, for example, when you have a crisis, you're expected to respond as a service club, but at the same time, you have your own crisis as a person, right? And you sort of forget that you cannot basically pour
You
from an
can't
empty
pour from
cup,
an empty cup.
right? And
Yeah.
you're there trying to pour from an empty, broken cup sometimes, right? So You know, sometimes we have to the one of the challenges is that because we're just constantly going, there's no vacation time. You know, you don't have leave from service clubs. I don't think people look at it this way, but you could get a vacation from your job. You could even take some time out. You know, you're not always with family, so you don't have to put up with them all the time, right? But you don't get leave really from your service club. You're in it all the time. And getting everyone to participate in the same meaningful way is sometimes a challenge, right? So I sympathize with Atika, especially in terms of having to struggle for resources. Sometimes you have to be very creative and you become extremely creative. But the upside is that it also helps you professionally and in your other aspects of life because you become much better at time management and resource management. And it will eventually teach you a lot of lessons on how to deal with people and have a lot of patience.
Yes, I agree with you there. You know, something I've always thought about is the fact that employers they seem to value the skills that you get from being in a service club. They value, what you can bring to their organization as a result of your record of service. But seems to only go one way. I mean, I need 2 hours to attend my meeting. Perhaps you can donate that time. Just a thought. Anyways, so we will take a break now for an ad.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentions that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company.
This is your boy Daniel Loveless representing for IKTV channel 112. Be sure to check it out. If you didn't know about IKTV, well, now you know.
Thank you for joining us or for staying with us. We are Let's Get Down to Business, and we are talking about the business of giving. Now, before the break, Daniel, you said you were talking about employers, and I suggested, donating the time. So I want to talk about corporate social responsibility, especially because you spoke about the pool being so small in St. Vincent and your club having to resort to creative ways to try to garner resources from different businesses here. So, if you had an opportunity to speak to persons in management or business persons here, what would you tell them about corporate social responsibility and how they can make a meaningful contribution without it having to be unduly burdensome? Is there anything you would like to tell them?
Yes, I think I would like to refer to the Rotary's motto when I like to speak about corporate social responsibility. Now, the Rotary has what you call a four-way test. Excuse my voice, I've been having a cold for a couple of days. The four-way test is simple. It's one, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it bring goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Right? So is it the truth? One. Is it fair to all concerned? Two. Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Three. And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Four. So that is the cornerstone on which Rotary was built. It started 110 years ago in Chicago with 4 businessmen with common interests. The name Rotary came from the fact that they used to literally rotate their meetings from one person's business place to other. They used to just have simple lunch meetings. And they decided that, look, it's nice to pursue wealth and profit, but at what expense do we continue to pursue wealth without thinking about the community that we live in, the community that is around us? And I think corporate social responsibility shouldn't just be a checklist. I think it should be as high on the priority list and embodied in the culture of your organization. As a certified sustainability specialist and as a proud and passionate Rotarian, I would tell businesses that the more you connect with the community, the more you connect with the persons that work for you, and you make them your first client. So you first focus on your employees. Make sure that you're a good corporate citizen to your employees, right? Then your employees will ensure that they are good corporate citizens to their clients, to the people they deal with. And you ensure that you do your responsibility as a business to help the community as much as possible. It doesn't always have to be financial. It could be in terms of education, educating the public on how to be a better consumer, how to better help you grow as a business, how to give you open feedback and tell you what are their concerns, right? So in other words, you are actually sowing a seed. You're actually empowering your employees and empowering your clients to now be better at what they do and make them more willing to support you. So I'm not just gonna sit here and paint a fairy tale picture that, you know, it's just the right thing to do. We know it's the right thing to do. We all have that moral sense that it's the right thing to help your community. But also from a business standpoint, it makes sense because you are now building a stronger relationship with the community and with your customers, so that in times of crisis especially, persons would remember you and persons would know that, okay, this is the business that has been supporting us throughout the year. We're going to support them and we're going to help them through. And it's a two-way street, right? So it's just my way of saying it makes sense to support these organizations. You build rounded employees, you build rounded clients, and then you get more support from the community.
Thank you, Daniel. Atiko, do you have anything to add? You're muted.
Sorry. It's a bit low.
Just louder, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I was saying that I definitely agree with Danielle that there is a need for corporate social responsibility because it builds the brand when companies or employees can support individuals that are involved in volunteering, that are involved in service. For example, our motto is "We serve," and where there's a need, there is a Leo or there is a Lion. And when opportunities present themselves for us to serve, it would be awesome when employees are when employees give us that opportunity or give us that privilege or that space to do so, because it in turn it builds us as employees, because we are able to have that time, have that exposure, have that experience to do the things that we love. And when we serve, we are also encouraging other persons to do the same in their own communities, not necessarily to be a part of our organization or Rotarac or Rotary, but within their own communities, they too can be motivated to serve.
And speaking of joining or contributing, how can ordinary persons contribute to your club? How can they join your club? How can they contribute to your cause? We'll just go back with you, Atika.
Okay. In terms of contribution, persons can, one, contribute their time. So, for example, if we are at Bookament at the beach and we are engaging in a beach cleanup, persons in that community can ask, what can I help with? Do you need assistance with some raking of the leaves or carrying out the garbage bags? If there are items that persons have at home that they feel as though someone else can have better use for, they can donate those items to our club. As it relates to joining our club, as I would have mentioned earlier, our club is youth based. So persons who are between the ages of 18 to 30 and they have a good character in their community and they are willing, they have that willingness to serve, not necessarily just wanting to be a part of the Leo Club St. Vincent and to make use of our social activities or to use the name on their resume, but also have a willingness to serve their communities. They are welcome to be a part of our club.
Okay. And what about your club, Daniel?
All right. Well, Rotary membership is actually open to persons of all ages above the age of 18. Although there's Interact Club, there's Rotaract Club that goes from 18 to 30. I think it's just increased to 34. But Rotary Club is open to those who are willing to serve, those who are willing to help the community. You could contribute. You don't necessarily have to become a member of the Rotary Club. You could donate to our causes, or you could become a corporate member. We've actually instituted corporate membership worldwide in Rotary International. You could become an affiliate member, or you could become a full member. And the way we go about recruiting, attracting, and maintaining members is that we encourage persons to visit a meeting. Once it's not a board meeting or a business meeting, which we have once a month, you're free to come to any of our meetings once you are invited by a Rotarian. And it doesn't have to be a meeting, it could be one of our events. You sit in and you observe and you get to see what it's all about. And ideally, you would come to at least 3 or so meetings before you get a sense of if this is something that is for you. It may not be everyone's taste or preference to be a direct member, but if you think that's the step you're ready to take, then someone would be your sponsor member to vouch for you. They would fill out application form, and then you basically your name and application is circulated to everyone to just see if for some moral or some extreme or reason that just would not make you a ethical or moral fit for the club. But once you have no objection, then you become a member, paying your dues and all these other things to keep the club sustainable. But we're very open and very open to new members. As you would know, Maurice, as I have invited you to Rotary meetings, and I'm not giving up hope, right?
And with that, we will take our break while I run away from Daniel.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentions that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company.
Representing for IKTV channel 112. Be sure to check it out. If you didn't know about IKTV, well, now you know.
And we're back. And even though we are in our final segment, I'm happy to let you know that we have been finally joined by someone from the Rotaract Club, Shari Bramble. Shari?
Hello, good night.
Good night, Shari. We were just about to speak about any Christmas initiatives that the club would have, or in your case, any initiatives that you may have wanted to have.
Oh, so annually, we aim to have what we refer to as our One Wish Drive. It's an initiative that the Rotaract Club of Kingstown embarks on to more or less donate goods to persons living in poverty who are on poor relief, as we like to call it here in St. Vincent. And we get a list of names of families from the ministry. They deliver us those names. We pick a community each year and we donate the goods to them at the beginning and towards the middle of January, because we know how hard it can be over the Christmas season. Everyone shops like crazy. So January tends to slam persons really hard, especially those who were needy before. So each year we try to outdo ourselves by donating to a larger number of persons. Unfortunately, with everything that's happened this year, it's been a little rough to organize and band together to have us drive that initiative home. But we still are looking forward to donating. We have numerous parcels that we would have received from the donations that we got from what would have happened with our volcano. So with that, we're packaging those out this week actually to donate to persons.
I think that's a commendable initiative, especially because, you know, a lot of the giving happens during the Christmas season, and then January comes with the 90 days and we are left with nothing. Shari, if you could just let us know, do you have a particular position in the club?
Oh, yes, I'm a director in the club. The club has a system of directors, so I am the professional development director, which I think is really cool.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for stepping in for Frankie tonight. Moving on to you, Atika. Could you tell us about any special Christmas projects that we can look forward to from the Leo Club this year?
This year, we're going to be doing things just a little different because of the pandemic. So every year, we would generally have a Christmas party for the School for Children with Special Needs. However, this year, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be donating gifts to them instead of, unfortunately, having the party that they always look forward to every year. And we're going to be partnering with Digicel. They have, we already sent the list of gift items that the students desire, and we're hoping to make that delivery to them on Friday. We're also going to be donating gifts to our mentees. As I would have mentioned earlier, we are currently mentoring two groups of at-risk kids. So we will be donating gifts to them. On Sunday, we have a Christmas feeding schedule. It is labeled as our Christmas feeding edition. Um, Also, we have a period poverty project where we will be donating sanitary napkins and other items to females. So we have quite a bit on our hands as it relates um, to this month, to Christmas.
All right, so you have a busy season planned.
We
What
do.
about you, Danielle?
Right, we I can say we had a busy season. um, because of COVID, we tried our best to push forward things a little bit earlier than they normally are this year. Right, so we had our Christmas barbecue already. All the proceeds of that go towards fundraising projects. So that was held at the Joshua Center car park. Pickup pickup service only. Sell nearly 500 tickets. So we're happy to be able to use that to fund future service projects. And we're very grateful to all the sponsors and the patrons of that. I acknowledge there were some hiccups and challenges that came with COVID and other things, um, both beyond and in within our control that we would learn from and really use that as a chance to recollect and rebuild and come stronger next year. Now that we know we have to live with COVID, we usually have a children's Christmas party, um, of which the governor general is usually the patron. The governor general usually hosts our children's Christmas party. It's a long-standing tradition of Rotary. And last year we were able to have it despite the COVID spike. We were able to have it outside of Kingston for the first time. So we had it in Connery just to make it a little different. And this year we were supposed to have it on the Leeward side to add some balance, in the far Leeward. But unfortunately, having over 120 children in one space is quite risky at this time and not the best public health decision to be able to make. Even if we do get clearance, it's just not within Rotary values to take those kind of risks, right? So unfortunately, we couldn't have that event this year, which is why we sort of compensated with the visiting of shelters. So we visited shelters in Mariquah, in Bayaboo, in Doris Mackey, in Cane Hall, and we also visited the Far Leeward um, today. So, for example, so the visits were done over the weekend and today, where the children, 23 children who are still in shelters, felt very touched and engaged. They said, sometimes people forget that there are still persons severely affected by the hurricane who haven't been able to live in a home since April. They felt very good to receive presents, receive food items as well as presents, Christmas ham, and so on, and enjoy the time with their extended family. 90 people who are still in shelters in St. Vincent. Another Christmas event we usually have Christmas caroling. We go to the what you call the Louis Burnett home and the different homes, the mental health care institute. But what we did this year is we doubled up because healthcare centers are very difficult to get to access to in COVID. We doubled up our caroling with the visits to the shelters. So we did caroling in the shelters to sort of brighten the spirits, right? So
Okay.
we'll basically be resting and recovering and building our projects for the next year from now on.
All right. And do you have any final Christmas wishes that you need to leave with our viewers? Do you have any final words for us, Atika?
Most definitely. I would say take the time to show some kindness and appreciation to those persons around you. Be extra kind, be extra loving, be extra supportive. We know that the past couple months, it has not been easy at all for quite a number of us. And some persons are just anticipating having life to see Christmas, to see the ending of the year. So, with all of that being said, just be extra kind this season and be extra supportive in whatever way you can be. If you go to the supermarket and you feel that urge to help someone with paying for their groceries, or even giving someone a lift to their destination, do so.
All right. Thank you. Sherry?
Um, that was a good point with regards to showing a bit of kindness to persons. I To add to that, I think that in addition to that, we could, as persons, show a bit of gratitude because we've come a long way this year with regards to everything that would have happened, especially our tiny nation. So show a bit of thanks for what you have, as well as if you're able to, if you're able bodied, you can extend something, show a kind gesture to someone close by to you. Yes.
Daniel?
Well, they didn't leave me with much to say, so I guess the thing I would say, apart from endorsing everything Shari and Atika said, is that just try love. You know, try love. As the easiest thing you could do is get frustrated. The easiest thing you could do is be selfish in a situation where everything is against you. Um, St. Vincent and the Grenadines have faced a lot of hardship this year. I think more than any nation should even need to deal with. But here we are. We survived. Those of us who survived. And once you have life, you should continue to help others, care for yourself, prioritize mental health, and prioritize community spiritedness. And if we could get through this year, then more likely than not, we could get through coming years.
All right. Thank you, Daniel. And on that note, we will be leaving you for the remainder of the year. See you next year. And please embrace the spirit of giving as our guests have encouraged you to do. This is Maurice Franklin for Let's Get Down to Business. Good night, everyone.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentions that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company,